welcome back to the video. In the last episode of How to Plan a Mountain Climb, we plotted some routes up this mountain, Lost Guide Peak, with various online tools. I scouted a route that went up this ridgeline, but now that I'm actually here, both of those cliffs look absolutely heinous, and the cliffs over here don't look nearly as bad. So, just from up here, I'm thinking that some route back there is good. So go up that drainage probably, and then cut in behind, which cliff band here? Not that one. That one, right about there. The scree still sucks, man. But yeah, should be doable. We'll have to take a closer look when we get there. We have made it into the valley, and you can see here, we've got the creek, and now there are two routes, climbers left and climbers right. Now, climbers left was my original alternate that I'd scouted. You can see a Ascend Scree pile back about there. See those two little caves? The next scree over. There's something sus like that, and then you diagonally ascend above the cliff bands. Then you emerge just below the subsummit and then traverse to the summit. That's a route more suited to an expedition of 5 and a mountain guide. I am neither 5 people nor a mountain guide, so I'm going to take the route at climbers right, which isn't as fun, but it's a lot safer because it's just a whole bunch of scree. So we're gonna take this. I'd like to talk a little bit about route finding, because that's what this video is all about. I don't know why I need to say that, but as you may have noticed, the online outlining I did of the main route behind the ridge and the secondary route directly behind me was a bit of a flop. I did outline this as a tertiary route, but I never really expected to do it. Now, this sounds like a bit of a fail on my part. I couldn't even get any of the first 2 choices to stick. And yeah, it's not ideal, but this is a very good lesson for this video. That lesson is online tools will only take you so far. You can't trust the online tools. They'll give you an idea of where you could go, but absolutely nothing will ever replace route finding on the ground. You know, unless your area has LiDAR scanning for absolutely no reason, which, you know, has a 1 to 2 meter resolution. Even then you have to route find when you're on the ground. Point being, you need to sharpen your in-person route finding abilities. I'm gonna cut the video here. I'll be with you in a minute. So when I was in kindergarten and 1st grade, I was taught about the difference between gross motor skills and fine motor skills. Now, being that I was 6, I thought that was hilarious because I didn't know what the normal meaning of the word gross was. But gross motor skills are what I'm using right now to move my larger appendages, those being my legs and arms. I'm not really too fussed about whether I'm 5 centimeters to the left or 5 to the right. I'm just going up. Fine motor skills are what I'm going to use in a couple days to edit this video, because I got to move my fingers on my keyboard. Now, I'd like to apply the same terminology to route finding. Gross route finding is what I did about 20 minutes ago down in the Coombe. Yes, that's what it's called. CWM. It's Welsh. If you want the French word, it's silk. The English word is valley with steep walls on all faces except one. This is why we use the Welsh word. Anyway, I'm getting off track. At the base of the Coombe, I did a bit of gross route finding because I said, if I go left, that looks scary and bad. If I go right, it's a little longer, which I don't like, but it's not scary. It doesn't look like death. And I know I can do things like that, having done them many times in the past. Well, I say many times, I mean 2, 3, whatever. Point being, that's gross route finding. Deciding approximately where you want to go. Believe it or not, that's the mentally easy part. Because then we have fine route finding, which is what I'm doing right now. I need to reach somewhere along the ridgeline from about there to about there. And how I get there is by going up. But that tells me nothing about where to put my foot other than uphill, which is all but useless. That's where fine route finding comes in. For every step I take, I need to decide very quickly what the best way forward is. Usually, this means avoiding very fine scree, as it'll slip and lose me progress and gain me risk. It also means avoiding cliffs and big rocks, generally speaking. And it means that I want to be on medium-sized rocks or heather, both of which are much better walking than the other alternatives. I have to do this for every step. You have to do it for every step you take too. Just it's usually a lot easier than this. So anyway, in a given hike, you're gonna make thousands of little decisions about where to place your feet. That's mentally tiring. Might not feel like it, but that uses a good amount of brain power. So, proper nutrition is essential for route finding. I shouldn't have to say this, but if you're on a long one-day trip or a multi-day trip, you need good food. You gotta keep yourself fed, and you really gotta keep yourself watered. Delicious. Now, there are some folks out there who'll say, you don't really need a whole lot of water. It's not like you're gonna die of dehydration if you go 6 hours without it. That's true. But we gotta keep in mind is most of the people that say this really know what they're doing, and this sort of route finding is almost automatic for them. But for most of us, it's very, very important to keep all of your wits about you. So, the summary of this video is that online tools are great, but they can only do so much. Once you get to your alpine climb, you need to do a bit of gross route finding to see, this place looks too cliffy, this place looks nice, this place looks really dangerous. Then you need to do a whole lot of, fine route finding to make your way up it. And that is greatly aided by proper nutrition. So, that's about all. I've got a depressingly long way to go. Should only take me a couple hours though, just based on how quickly I've gotten to this point. So yeah, that's me out.